So
yeah, the fact that
speaking of real cameras, I'm gonna jump topics here because we have to talk about the most ridiculous camera ever.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yes.
What is this thing
Yes.
and why?
Big Sky cinema camera.
Mm-hmm.
Insane 18K sensor.
18K. So a lot of manufacturers, the way their marketing departments generally tend to work, and this is across the board. It's not just with cameras, but it's with a lot of things, where they're just like, if we have more of something, it must be a better camera. I've even seen people on forums say, oh, I got to shoot this on 8K. Do you? It's like Hollywood still shoots stuff at 2.8K, not even 4K, and they still look great. You have Academy Award winning films shot at 2.8K, not even 4K.
Yeah.
So this weird desire to shoot at these high resolutions is a little ridiculous. Now, this does have a special use case, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but I will tell you about some of the drawbacks of this. So aside from the massive files that your media manager is going to hate you.
Okay, so on the Alexa 35 now, I think if you're shooting at the highest quality with that camera, I think a terabyte drive, I think, only lasts you, 12, 13 minutes? Or something like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's a terabyte.
Yeah.
12, 13 minutes. That's not long to shoot. If you're doing a whole day with that, you're going to have... What's the next level above a terabyte?
Oh, petabyte.
Yeah. 1,000 terabytes. Yeah.
1,000 petabytes.
Imagine that time you're going to be
because 1,000 terabytes, 1 petabyte, yeah.
You're going to be sitting in front of the computer just watching this stuff transfer from one file, one drive to the next.
Right. At that point, you might as well just bring your server rack with you.
Yeah. Exactly. Is it really worth it?
I don't think so. And here's another problem with this particular camera. So not only is it 18K, but it's also the sensor itself is massive. So full frame, for those that are curious, is a 3.2 sensor. It is not 17 by 9. It is not 16 by 9. It is not VistaVision. It's 3.2, which is great for photography, but really particularly bizarre for cinematography, which is why only a few cameras will actually let you shoot in full frame. So the Ep.6, Ep.6, Ep.9, and the upcoming Sony Burano do not shoot full frame. They have full frame sensors, but they can't shoot full frame because that requires 3.2, which is fine because, again, no one actually shoots in 3.2, so it's a really weird aspect ratio. I kind of wish that manufacturers would follow Red and do VistaVision. Whether you like or hate Red, the one thing that I will say they got right is the VistaVision sensor. That is a good aspect ratio. Anyway, this thing is so big. It is larger than medium format. It is as big as some large format film cameras. I'm not talking about 65 millimeter here. I'm not talking about motion picture film. I'm talking about still film. So back in the photography days, when you had those big,
that's like a sheet of paper.
Right, exactly, and that's what you used to have to use. It's not quite Ansel Adams. He used to shoot on an 8 by 10 inch negative, which is really big.
Yeah.
You're gonna run into a few problems there. One, I know some people are like, "Oh man, check out the shallow depth of field," but in this case, it's going to be ultra shallow, so you're not going to want to shoot with that 1.4, 1.2
at that point, you're not going to be able to see anything.
Exactly. So you defeat the whole purpose of what this thing is intended for. Exactly. You're going to be wanting shooting at a 5.6 minimum. And maybe actually shooting at a f8 or f16. In fact, Ansel Adams used to joke that he was starting a club called the F64 Club because that negative is so large. that's what you need to get any depth of field at all.
That's what you need to get. So the use case for this camera is they have this building that's, I believe, currently under construction in Las Vegas. Let me see if
I think it
find
might actually be.
Or is
I
it
think
done?
it's right. I think it's already done. Yeah.
Already done. So basically,
And it's an
this-
LED screen. Which
yes,
is,
this building has it's a curved, almost like the Epcot globe building. It's got a 580,000 square foot LED display, and so that's what they intend on showing the images that come from this camera on. Basically, kind of like when you went to the planetarium as a kid. If you ever did that, and you just sat in the middle and you just saw the whole basically world around you.
Yeah. So it's an immersive process.
Yeah,
so
a screen that encompasses you.
and because of the ultra high resolution, I mean, in that case, I can kind of see what they're going for. I do still think it's a bit of an overkill because you're not going to be right up next to the screen. So I actually think that they might be able to get away with even a 6K camera. But you know what? They want to do as close to 1-to-1 as they can, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to push it,
Yeah,
by
so-
all means. But
So I get it. But as far as regular shooting, resolution is not as big a deal as people think it is. You know, there's some people that really think it's going to make their footage look better because they're watching it, when the raw footage comes through. But the problem is once it gets to the deliverable, no one's going to see what you see. It may look obviously going from 2K to 4K, there's going to be a little bit of a difference. And I do mean a little bit because, again, it depends on your deliverable.
Exactly. That is the main takeaway is what is your deliverable, because it doesn't matter if you've got SD or 18K if someone is looking at it on a 6-inch screen on their phone.
Right.
Because it's that small at that point. Like you're not going to see
even if you
any
have
difference.
a 4K screen like some smartphones do, it's still not going to make that big of a difference.
Again, it's 4K.
Right.
It's not 18K.
Right.
So
And it's so damn tiny that
yeah,
you're surpassing
exactly.
the humanized ability to
So that
resolve
is,
detail. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that is, I guess, one of the main things to think about when you start shooting or you're producing your project with your smartphone or whatever camera you have, is to think about how is this final product going to be shown.
That's right.
Is it going to be shown on a big screen in a theater, or am I going straight to YouTube? At that point, you got to worry about compression.
Compression.
So then, do you
And you
wanna
lose a lot
shoot-
of that color data too. 'Cause
Exactly.
We'll talk about HDR later, but
Yeah.
but for the most part, it's
But
going to be
yes.
a 420 8-bit image, so you're not even getting the 10-bit or 12-bit or 16-bit that you're normally
Exactly.
shooting.
So then, at that point, is like, is it worth doing all this extra overhead in the beginning if you're not going to see it? If you're not going to see it in the end result.
Right. And actually, Anthony does bring up a good point, because when it comes to scaling, in the past, in the analog world, when you were going from 65 millimeter film to 35 millimeter film, you could scale down and the image would become sharper when you do that. It would be a natural analog sharpening effect. The same is not true in the digital world, because if you're going from 8K to 4K, the only way to do that, remember, pixels are a fixed size. They do not change size, which means that the only way to get to 4K is to delete 4K worth of pixels. And it's up to the software to figure out how to delete those pixels and still keep your image looking the way it should. So some programs will actually make it worse, and I'll be doing a video showing what happens when you super scale something and the algorithm makes your image worse when you do that, as opposed to shooting a native resolution. It's quite interesting, because the camera manufacturers put a lot of work into trying to give you the highest quality image, and when you scale it, it is possible to totally destroy that image if you have a bad algorithm.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so again, we're not bashing the camera. It
has a use case in this case.
In this case, it has
Right,
a use
in this-
case. But as far as everyday hey, let me just grab this camera and film.
Yeah.
It's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go back a little bit because in the mobile world, we now have apps. Well, actually, we've had apps for a while because I know Arri introduced one a long time ago to control their camera. And a lot of mirrorless cameras now have app controls as well. But Sony released an interesting one, and I'm really excited about this one. So, first of all, my little gripe here.
Oh, yeah.
This is the third app, Sony.
Yeah.
Couldn't you just have updated the last one? So, but I'll give him credit. This is a good app. I really like it. It's called Monitor and Control. And it is for the FX30, FX3, and FX6, A7S III, and the upcoming Verano camera. It's really good. So it gives you monitoring tools wirelessly on your smartphone, which is nice because you don't need to buy a gigantic monitor for your mirrorless camera or any of these other cameras. You can just control it there, which is really good for your ACs, actually, especially if they need to change the setting on the camera. And
yes. Well, and I don't know. I haven't dug too deep into the app, but can you connect, I guess, multiple phones to one camera, or is it just one phone at a time?
you know what, we might do that experiment later.
Actually, because we've got
we've got two
Sony,
cameras,
and two phones with the app. But yeah, we'll definitely test that out and let you know. Because you said with the AC. Because then I wonder if this could. I know not everyone would need control, but if this could be an alternative to something like the Teradek Serve, where people are all on the Serve with their phones and iPads and all that, if they could use this, or if just the camera department could use it.
I was going to say we might have to limit it to people that know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was saying not everyone would need
really
to.
Don't want the producer giving their 2 cents on this one.
Yeah, but no, that would be an interesting thing if everyone in the camera department could have their eyes on all the cameras and know that second AC knows, oh, the battery's getting low on this one, let me go here, change it and have it, or oh, I know the focus puller is okay, I got my phone, I don't have to have a big expensive production monitor to use, and I can be more portable, and I don't have to have 10 people over my shoulder as I'm at a 13-inch monitor, which does happen.
It does happen.
So yeah, that would we'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, so we'll get back to you, and that we may just kind of put a little caption down here on the bottom of the screen telling you what we found out.
Yeah. But no, it gives you a lot of granular control, just like you were sitting in front of the camera. Yeah. Basically, your f-stop, white balance, ISO, focus, shutter.
Right. The tools that you actually need when you're controlling
playback,
the camera,
all that.
Remotely.
Yes.
I did not see the playback feature on the FX3, but I know the FX6 has it.
Okay. Well, and that's weird that Sony will do that, because you said you didn't see the playback feature. But you have
I have the waveform
on your FX3,
but it's not on the FX6.
But I don't have it on the FX6. So.
Admittedly, they are different cameras, but still,
but
kind of wish it'd be a little more.
Waveform. I don't think that would be such much of a different code from one camera to the next.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but theoretically, the way monitors, at least production monitors, have worked in the past is that. As you know, it's about the signal, not about the camera. So, but who knows? Yeah. There might be more going on here that we know. My guess is that we're getting the actual data from the camera, not just the video signal.
Oh, okay, that's good. But no, this is a good app. And
what
were the two? Since you said this is the third app.
The last two apps were not.
That
one of them was a catalog app, which was kind of useless. I never really used it, and then the second one was their first. Ability to control the camera remotely, which was nice, but I think also they were trying to make an app that is specific to these cinema cameras, as they call it. Which, by the way, I mentioned this on the last podcast, but yeah, the word cinema just means moving image.
Yeah.
But they are
nothing special.
Right, exactly. But I think they are trying to just put their higher end cameras, because the last app also had a lot of their prosumer, including their point and shoot cameras that you can control with it. So on the one hand, that was nice that they were able to do that, but like I said, I really hope that they stick with this app and just update this app.
Yeah, just update.
We don't need another app. Yeah. This one's fine. You want to do an update? Update this one because this is good.
Yeah.
I really like what Sony did here.
Yeah. It is really, really nice. And again, this is another one that's completely free as
It's
well.
free.
As
That's right.
just like the Blackmagic app.
Yeah, that's right. We forgot to point that out, but yes, the Blackmagic app is totally
it's
free.
The only thing that you would potentially have to use money for is if you bought into their Blackmagic cloud service, which actually this kind of revolutionary for mobile filmmakers if you have a team. Say you're using nothing but iPhones or whatever for your next production. What you can do with the Blackmagic cloud service, and I'm not sponsored or whatever, I'm just saying this is a cool feature. I wish more cameras could do this. Is as you're shooting, you can upload proxies to your editor while you're shooting. So they can let you know, oh yeah, this is a good shot. Oh, we need to take this again because this was soft or it was too blown out or whatever. Or I can't color because it was this, that, and the other. And you can get real time because there's also a chat feature in the app that allows you to communicate back and forth. So it is.
I know some people are having
full,
flashbacks from 2020
oh.
where everything was done remote. But it is kind of neat that they have
it
this.
Is built to be a full collaborative
right?
Full collaborative suite of
I do
things.
know that the Sony's, although I've never personally used it, but I do know that they have something that will allow you to connect the cameras directly to a network.
Network.
Right.
There you go.
And of course, the other way to do it is if you happen to have actually, the Sony FX3 and maybe the FX6 will allow you to connect directly to a computer and use that as a webcam.
Yeah.
So you can do that as well, although it'd probably be easier just to get a SDI to USB adapter and just send it to whoever needs to be watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which most of the time, the more people that see your footage, the more annoying it gets. That's just speaking from as a cinematographer, but you know.
Yeah.
But it is possible as far as the collaboration goes, especially with people that need to see what's going on.
Exactly. So
And for whatever reason, they can't be on set. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, if it's the editor.
If it's
then
the
it
editor,
would
right?
be.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that is to be
or the
shooting.
VFX guy.
Yeah, to be shooting and uploading proxies and editing, like.
And if you're a VFX guy, if somebody drives you crazy, just tell them you're having issues with the internet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but just the cost savings on the fact that by the end of your shooting day, you could potentially have a cut of that day at the end of the day and not have to wait a couple more hours to
upload or something, right?
And to see
play your DIT, send that stuff off. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's very fascinating.